Autism. Definition of autism spectrum disorder. Continuum from relatively mild to severe. APA identifies two domains: social communication impairments, repetitive restricted behaviors, and it begins in early childhood. Prevalence: 59% students aged 6 to 21 with ASD, 5 times higher for boys than girls. Occurs in all groups, just as high or higher on other continents. Reasons for prevalence: widening of criteria used, greater awareness of condition, diagnostic substitution, intellectual disability, possibility of toxins, and other factors. Causes: early causal theories. Asperger posited a biological and hereditary basis. Psychoanalytic ideas. Today's causal theories: neurological basis, neuronal underconnectivity, theories of hormones affecting brain development, genetic basis. A family with a child with autism has increased chances of a second child. How is autism identified? Psychiatrists use criteria of American Psychiatric Association: communication skills, social interactions, repetitive and stereotyped behaviors, behavioral observation and checklist. Physician screenings should begin as early as 9 months. Autistic regression in about 1 in 3 cases. Characteristics of autism. Characteristics exhibited by each person with autism will vary. Social communication, communication intent, joint attention, pragmatics, repetitive restricted behaviors, stereotyped, repetitive ritualistic, motor or verbal behaviors, hyper and hyposensitive, over or under sensory response. What you may see: qualitative impairments in social interaction, communication, and repetitive stereotypical patterns of behaviors, lack of social emotional response or reciprocity, lack of making eye contact, doesn't follow your gaze when you look at something else, absence or delay of spoken language, repetitive self-stimulatory behaviors, rocking, opening, closing doors, etc., flapping, repetitive noises. Social relationships. A person with autism doesn't relate or respond to others. Apparent lack of interest in people, social situations, such as smiling, waving, giggling. Doesn't warm up to others or establish a bond. Doesn't smile or wave when met in the hallway. No facial expressions. Communication. Doesn't speak. Selected muteness, not the same as lack of language skills. May hum or say occasional words. Verbal repetitions may be out of context. Concrete literal interpretation, cannot abstract. Intellectual cognitive functioning, spanned from ID to gifted. Extraordinary skills of memorization, math calculation, music with decreased cognitive functioning in other areas. Over/under sensory response. Overstimulation is a painful response to sound and touch. Understimulation, with no apparent response, sensory processing deficits. Part of our humanness is touching and being touched. Autistic disorder, difficulty relating to others in a typical manner, extreme aloneness, apparent isolation from outside world, resistance to being picked up or held, significant speech deficits, including mutism, in some cases very good rote memory, early specific food preferences, obsessive desire for repetition and sameness, bizarre repetitive behavior such as rocking back and forth, lack of imagination, few spontaneous behaviors, normal physical appearance. Asperger syndrome, impairment in social areas, doesn't understand how to act socially, difficulty making and maintaining friendships, not generally language delay, earlier reader, average or above average intelligence, think Einstein, tend to focus on negative, dwell on fears.